Now, we've spoken about the primary elements. The next two elements I want to speak to you about is the revised income definition and expenses definition. So these we deduce from the assets and the liabilities. And that's why I've said to you that those other two are the primary elements. Because if you read these, just look at the top line. The one is increase in assets and the other one is decrease in assets. The one is decreases in liabilities and the other one is increases in liabilities. Now, that's not to say that assets and liabilities are more important in accounting than income and expenses. It's just giving us a way to measure income and expenses more accurately by referring to them as the changes in the primary elements. You will hear accountants say, yes, but this is a focus on the balance sheet and the ISB thinks the balance sheet or statement of financial position is more important. That's simply not true. And I've tried to now point out to you that we've just taken a starting point with the asset definition, then the liability definition, and now we've moved on to the income and expense definitions. And we've done it in that sequence just to give us a way to work and a way to measure these things better. The last thing I want to mention in the section, and I won't take a lot of time here, is just now you have these element definitions. What do you apply them to? You need to go and have a look now. For example, a silly example. You're in a pharmacy, you're the FD of a pharmacy group, and you have hundreds of pills, or let's hope very soon hundreds of vaccines, thousands of vaccines, we'd all like. What is the unit of account for that? Would it be each vaccine or each pill? Is it going to be the group collectively? So you as an accountant need to provide some professional judgment here in deciding at what level are you going to go and apply this element definition? Are you going to test the vaccines as being an asset or an expense based on each individual vaccine? That doesn't make sense. You might as well do them all the same. They're identical. So that's just what unit of account means. It's just a level you're going to go down to of an economic event before you start applying your element definitions. And then when you make that decision is about giving useful information. So again, how do we make sure that the unit of account that I decide on is going to be useful information? Well, is that information relevant and can I faithfully represent it? So is it relevant to report to a user every single vaccine or every single pill in the pharmacy group? Or is it good enough to report it as a collective noun, if you like, all the vaccines, all the pills together? So that brings an end to this section of the conceptual framework and the overview thereof. You need to spend time in the document itself, but I've hopefully given you a few pointers and things to go and look out for. And there you have it. We've started writing a journal entry at long last. We'd be able to decide now, what are we classifying this as? Which elements are we going to be using?